Thank you so much for the chats and for messages. I put up a story about 10 minutes ago, and already I've had some responses. And specifically, a response from people in Tashkent and Uzbekistan saying that Russia is making a fuss about something. It's a manufactured story. And it's a manufactured story that goes back to a proposal by Alisher Qodirov, and we'll come back to him in a second, who wants to remove Soviet symbols across Uzbekistan. And of course, Russia is very keen to promote and continue to exploit its influence in the satellite regions. On September the 23rd, not the 24th, a notification took place in Tashkent between a teacher and a sixth grade student who questioned why she wasn't using Russian in a Russian class, and that escalated into a diplomatic incident. The teacher, who was a woman, her physical response to the student's question, she pulled his ear and she slapped him, was captured on video, which went viral, provoked outrage, particularly among Russians on social media, who demanded her sacking and her fining, both of which have happened. The incident became quickly more than just a local issue, and Russia, through the Foreign Ministry spokesperson Maria Zakharova, requested an official explanation from Uzbekistan. Zakharova stated that Russia had made an urgent request to legally assess the material in the media, and if the case is proven, to undertake measures against the person for the cruelty imposed on the child. In response, Alisher Qodirov, who is the deputy chairman of the Uzbek parliament and the leader of the Milli Tiklanish, the National Revival Democratic Party, dismissed the Russian concerns, saying that the matter would be handled under Uzbek laws. And he criticized Russia's involvement, saying that it would be better for Russia to deal with their own affairs, full of problems, than to deal with our internal issues. And he added that the violation of the rights of an Uzbek child in Uzbekistan would be dealt with appropriately by Uzbek authorities, and indeed that had already happened. The incident touches on the sensitive issue of the teaching of the Russian language in post-Soviet Uzbekistan. And despite being a minority, ethnic Russians, that's only about 2% of Uzbekistan's 35 million population, have seen Russian remain a prominent language in education and business, and they don't like it. However, the Uzbek government's stance on the Russian language and other Soviet legacies has been shifting, particularly since Russia's 2022 invasion of Ukraine. And what I've been told, and maybe somebody has got this information and I don't have it and I can't find it, is that a member of the Russian parliament has apparently said that if you don't sort this out, you will end up like Ukraine. And I think that's a very interesting statement. I cannot find out who said that. My sources don't go that far. And the invasion, of course, of Ukraine has influenced former Soviet republics, including Uzbekistan, to reassess their policies regarding the teaching of the Russian language and symbols associated with the Soviet era. And Russia's justification for its actions in Ukraine, framed as protecting Russian-speaking populations, has added to their concerns. The use of Russian language as a political tool by Moscow is now viewed with suspicion, given the aggressive precedent set in Ukraine. So not only has President Putin seriously compromised his relationship with Ukraine, he's also compromised the influence of NATO. NATO has increased directly because of his invasion of Ukraine, and now the satellite states are pulling away. In every possible way, Putin's invasion of Ukraine has been a disaster for him domestically. So in the broader context, Uzbekistan has been taking steps to distance itself from Soviet nostalgia. Alisher Qodirov has been vocal on these issues, and earlier this month he proposed banning Soviet symbols and ideology in response to a court case in Samarkand. And this is about a 74-year-old man whose identity has not been given out, who received a parole-like sentence for his involvement with pro-Soviet Russian groups and for promoting the restoration of the Soviet Union. Qodirov's stance reflects a broader sentiment among some Uzbek political leaders to affirm a distinct Uzbek national identity free from Soviet influence and free from Russia. This incident is emblematic of the delicate balance Uzbekistan needs to maintain in its foreign policy and domestic politics as it navigates its relationship with Russia. Uzbekistan, like other satellite countries around Russia, is slowly asserting its sovereignty and its national identity. And this situation will strain relations with Moscow, particularly given Russia's sensitivity to how Russian-speaking populations are treated abroad. And Maria Zakharova has said an urgent request has been sent to the Uzbek side to legally assess the material in the media and, if the case is proven, to undertake measures against the person for the cruelty imposed on the child. And Alisher Qodirov has said it's better for Russia to deal with its own affairs. He says the violation of the rights of an Uzbek child will be dealt with according to Uzbek laws. There is no advantage to stir up noise out of the blue. So from the Uzbekistan side, this is just a school-related issue. It reflects the complexities of post-Soviet identity, national sovereignty, regional geopolitics. But from a Russian side, it suggests a lack of cohesion and a defiance which mirrors the defiance of Ukraine. While Uzbekistan seeks to define its path independently, it must manage the sensitivities of its powerful northern neighbour and former boss. And this situation illustrates the challenges faced by former Soviet states as they navigate their post-colonial identity in what is clearly an evolving Slavic dynamic.